Good evening. How are you? Let's get to the information. How's it going? How's the night treating you? Or the morning as well? Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching from Spain or anywhere else. Let's start with the information. Go ahead and give us a like, share it. You already know how to support us, and well, there's a bit of everything today. Today, the Pentagon is being accused of colluding to keep information about the UFO phenomenon hidden. This, well, is partly what Trump had demanded, something that so far has not been fulfilled, and also what's happening inside Iran. There's a report from a former high-ranking official revealing that yes, in fact, the intention to have nuclear weapons is real. We'll cover those details, and by the way, the USS aircraft carrier is advancing. The USS George H.W. Bush is sailing toward the Middle East, making it seem like things could escalate, at least that's how it appears. Greetings to Nina Sol Garcia, to Edilcia, all the way to Panama. A huge greeting to the whole community. Many thanks to 379 Arbita, to the entire community. Look, we're starting off with this surprising image, just like we like to start with an interesting image. This catches your attention. Just look at how impressive this is, right? What we're seeing here is the south of Arabia. Let's pause it so we can really see and appreciate all of this. You see, look, it's the south of Saudi Arabia. It's a desert full of, not snow, it looks like snow, but it's hail, an impressive amount. They're basically dunes of hail, right?
Exactly. Dunes of hail have formed. It's something strange. Honestly, it's not normal for this to happen, but it makes for an impressive sight.
They say, well, like you said, it's unusual, it's not common, it has happened before, but only a few times, it's not exactly rare, let's say. The phenomenon also draws attention, and here I'm going to have to show it. Pause, just like that, from a distance. But it's the moment when the teacher who's on top of a young man is holding him with a weapon, right? The person tried to shoot, right? They're struggling, and moments before the person tried to get in, we're seeing it right there. At that moment, he's coming in with a weapon in his hand through this door. Let's see if you can see the door on this side. Look, let's move the video over here, over here, over here, over here. There's a door on this side. There it is. Let's watch when the door opens. Does he work the gun there or not? That's what they call it, right? And then he starts pointing at people, and on this side, the teacher, the professor, appears. He immediately reacts and he takes the weapon from him. Hero, you're a hero without a cape. This happened live. It's the principal, the school principal in Arkansas, Keir Moore. Well, he jumped in, he rushed at the young man, he prevented. Well, you know what was going to happen there. He was going to start shooting people.
Today there was a case, but in Turkey, something we almost never talk about. It's always in the United States. And well, on the day in Arkansas, about 16 people were injured.
In Arkansas?
No, in Turkey, sorry.
In Turkey, 16 people were injured. Well, we'll talk about that topic in a bit. We'll mention it right now. But look, well, that's the man. Now he's just a regular man, right? I mean, come on. Just a regular teacher at his age, not American at his school. But from one day to the next, he made a difference, right? The immediate reaction and the bravery too, right? Not even thinking about it, just saying, well, okay. It's better to take a risk and prevent a bigger incident. And the truth is, he did it. He did get some minor injuries, but he didn't get shot. It's incredible, isn't it, really? Well, my respect to this man. And suddenly that's how it is. There are heroes everywhere. Quimor Hero of the Day. It's amazing. Now, let's move on. By the way, this happened on April 7. It's just that we're only now seeing the report, but it was on April 7 when this happened. Now they've released the footage and all that, so, well, it's really interesting. There's a report that caught my attention before we move on to other topics. Let me see. The image they're showing here is really big, so let me try to make it smaller so we can see this individual. The person we're going to present is an Iranian. There he is. Let's listen to him. Obviously, he's speaking Persian, so we'll talk about it in a moment. 1:15 a.m. February 26th. We are in the city of Montgomery. Well, what this individual is reporting is that it has been confirmed that several explosions have occurred in cars, meaning car bomb explosions that have been happening in Tehran, the capital of Iran. Suddenly, well, listen. That there was an attack over there, that there was another one somewhere else, obviously targeting certain individuals, not just anyone of importance. And this individual, this police officer, he wasn't just a regular cop, he's from the Basij militia. This report, this person is saying everything is calm. Yes, there were some explosions, but no, there were no injuries.
No, The explosions are like that, amateur explosions. I mean, you can tell it's just people, yes, civilians who are upset.
Exactly. So what he's saying is this. He's saying nothing happened. No, there were no injuries. I don't know. That's good. But what actually happened is that there are several injured and several dead. And how do we know this? Well, the clips are already circulating, let's say, from WhatsApp calls. Among them, they've been talking about the exact number of injured and the number of dead. And this doesn't have the hallmark of Mossad intelligence. Nor does it. Well, from military groups or anything like that, I mean from the United States or something like that, according to what's being reported. And that, well, can't be confirmed. But what is believed is that these are already internal movements, let's say from the opposition, people who are looking to attack the Basid militia, the military. It's not the first time that it's known there are already armed groups inside rebelling. So, well, if that's the case, it could be the beginning of internal attacks to bring down or overthrow the regime of the Ayatollahs, something that was bound to happen sooner or later. There is a huge population that already wants to be free. They've already realized that the strategy is working for the Ayatollahs to stay in power, despite the war, despite everything. And if people see this and people really want change, then surely we will achieve it. They will try to make it happen, we'll see what happens, but this could be the sign, the first signs of a rebellion. I can't say it's a revolution either. And since that hasn't happened yet, at least there are signs of a possible rebellion. We'll see if this leads to more. And right away, let's talk about what has been reported about this man. Ali Motahari, who was the vice president of the Iranian parliament in 2016 and 2019, and he makes a series of comments that really draw attention. It's this individual. If I can show him on screen, he's a pretty well-known Iranian politician, let's say. He has been a former high-ranking official. He has held important positions in his past. But he makes a series of pretty shocking comments that would show or confirm what has been suspected or said by the United States and Israel. That, well, there is an attempt, an effort to obtain nuclear weapons. What's going on? What is known?
Well, an interview that has just resurfaced with this former official named Ali Motahari has caused concern. He admitted that Iran has indeed sought to build a nuclear bomb from the beginning, and well, these statements break a narrative because we have to remember that this Ali Khamenei supposedly had a law, one of those laws they make, right? Yes, there was a fatwa, saying they shouldn't build a nuclear bomb. Well, with this, he admits that if they were looking for that fatwa, maybe it didn't exist, maybe they simply didn't follow it, and well, this breaks the narrative they've been saying for decades.
Well, the nuclear plan known as the Ahmad Plan, as far as we know, included developing warheads of up to 10 kilotons close to the power of Hiroshima. The project advanced with tests and simulations and missile technology like the Chabad, or rather the Chajat 3, showing that there was already a structured and serious development. However, the program partially failed when leaks exposed secret facilities leading to international sanctions. That was the failure. The failure was that we were basically discovered.
Exactly, but they, according to his report, continued with technological advances, enriching uranium, developing centrifuges, and nuclear simulations. Experts have also pointed out that the country reached critical levels with enrichment getting close. Here we mentioned it at 60%, which is useless for civil purposes, but rather you're just a step away from moving into nuclear weapons territory.
This is crazy, and well, let's move on to other important matters. Just to mention a detail that really catches my attention within the channel, we discovered that out of roughly the 1 million different people who visit us each month, each month we get about 3.5 to 5 million visits, more or less. That's what the whole channel gets each month. And it caught our attention. I wanted to know how big the community that participates and comments is, and it was really surprising. It turns out it's just 0.4%. So far this month, based on the figures we've counted, it's about 1 million different people. Let's say a different person can come 2, 3, 4 times, 2, 3, 4 visits. So let's say that's 3 or 4 million visits per month. But 1 million different people visit us, and that's it. More than 4,000 write. They comment, write, and participate, let's say. So that really catches my attention. I know that most of them, according to the statistics YouTube gives us, the vast majority are 55 years old and up. That's also something that catches my attention. They're older than me, and I really appreciate that. In fact, most of the people here in the community are between 55 and 65. That's also surprising to me. And then there's a second group that's also quite large. They're roughly between 35 and 45 years old. That's the second group, followed by younger people. Yes, that's very interesting. Also, most of our viewers now are in the United States. That's also a very interesting topic. We have a lot of viewers in Spain, Colombia, and Mexico. Obviously, that's in second place. I think it's Colombia, and then it's Argentina and Spain, which are about tied. But it's interesting that there's little participation when it comes to comments. So, well, I completely understand that. Many people watch us on TV now or while they're working or exercising. Yes, you can support the channel by liking, sharing, and writing from time to time. Even if it's just once a week, say, today I'm going to leave Pepe a message here. Even if it's just a hello, just to know you're there, or a greeting, anything. That's really appreciated. So, I'm not saying goodbye. Don't forget to lend a hand. It was truly a discovery to have you all here every week. It's kind of like, wow.
Dario says, I'm 83 and I watch you. Well, thank you so much for being here.
A huge shout out to Dario Teles, and there are so many people older than us. And honestly, that's an honor for us and also a source of pride for the channel that this content is reaching so many adults, and we love that. And well, I know that many people don't comment. I mean, I'm one of those who don't comment. I'm one of those who watch a lot of videos on YouTube and all that. And I rarely comment. Honestly, now I'm also making an effort to comment when I watch a channel or whatever. You know, today I stayed for the video. I like this or whatever, but yeah, you have to make a little effort. Well, that's what we would like. At least it's not much effort. It helps us a lot, first of all, to know that you're there. And well, secondly, it encourages us a little to keep making this content. So thank you very much for that. And thank you very much to the whole community in their 80s, in their 70s, people of all ages who are watching us here. Thank you very much. He says, well, let's go to another one. He says the news you cover is for a certain age group. He asks if you'll talk about anime games. Yes, of course, definitely, but not too much. Because there is a very young community, there are quite a few young people, but as I understand it, most are not. Most are adults, and that's great. That's really cool. I've had that itch literally since I was a kid. I like the topic of international news. Specifically, I used to grab the comics as a kid and then grab the international section. At least I didn't look at the sports section or any of those other sections. No, so I know there are also a lot of young people who might be interested, but the cool thing is that there's a lot of age diversity, right? There are all kinds of people. Before, it was also a large majority of men, and then during the pandemic, it was the opposite. During the pandemic, it was an overwhelming majority of women, and now it's tied. That also really catches our attention. How over time it shifts a little bit, but anyway. A little update. Let's move on to other topics because the United States aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, is sailing, and it was known that it was heading toward the Middle East. It was going to take some time. Remember, it left the United States, so it would take time. The nuclear vessel was already spotted off Namibia's coast. Let's check the map.
That wasn't the one that caught fire?
No, that was the Gerald Ford, but that one was already in operation. If it's operating, this one just left Virginia recently, if I'm not mistaken. And the other one is the Abraham Lincoln. It's by the Arabian Sea. The other one is in the, in the Mediterranean Sea. And this one is, well, on the way off Namibia. That's where they saw it. That's the latest report there is. Let's look for Navidad, because honestly, it's there. It's not missing. It still has a while to go. It's around here.
It says it's still rounding the Cape of Good Hope.
Well, look, it left the United States. Where? Where is it? Virginia's here, over here on the East Coast. It's in the East.
There it is.
It left Virginia a few days ago, and it's moving across the whole Atlantic, and you can see it around here. I mean, notice how crazy it is, the times we're living in now. I mean, a huge amount of information is revealed on social media. There's no other way. That's also why the attack on Iran by the United States happened in June. They were really afraid of that too. The portals did it, the bombers, the fingers. So there were reports of people who started seeing the bombers. It's just that.
There were a lot, but they went everywhere.
Exactly, the strategy. Imagine the expense of sending bombers to many different places to confuse the people who are taking pictures and saying, look, a bomber. When you start adding it up and you see that there are a lot of bombers heading in the same direction, you say an attack is coming, but over there they threw us off. And yes, honestly, they did surprise us because they went in many directions. Yes, we could say we knew there was movement, but it wasn't clear that the movement was going over there, not towards Iran. So yes, they managed to do a little bit of that, but right now, well, obviously the aircraft carrier is not a surprise, but if it's in this area in the Bible it was seen, I suppose it's already around here. I mean, because the news comes in, they report it, we talk about it here, but it's moving forward, but it still has a way to go. Look, there are still several more days to get there. It's moving forward. We have to remember that it's not necessarily going to this area of the strait. No, it could be in charge of the Yemen issue. We have to remember that Yemen or the Houthis claim that they could close this passage if things keep getting more complicated. In fact, there are already signs that they have been operating here again lately, but they haven't closed this strait. If they close it, obviously things get more complicated. There aren't any clear signs about that yet, right?
Exactly. There are still no signs of this. For their part, the USS Abraham Lincoln continues patrolling, as Pepe says, the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman. The USS Harold R. Ford, the one I mentioned where the kitchen caught fire, is already ready to rejoin operations after this technical stop it had in Croatia to fix the issue with the fire. And well, it would be the third aircraft carrier in the area if that's how the stop goes. I understand that it's heading that way, but right now it's trying to skirt areas where it could get into trouble. The idea is for it to not get close to the area around Yemen to avoid an attack or something like that.
Well, there it is. Julio Colon tells me, and I've been watching you for 6 months, but almost always after the live broadcast is over. But I always try to catch them. There are so many. He says and lost and says, and once in a while I've commented, thank you very much, thank you very much. No, we understand it perfectly. Yes, in fact, it's already happened to us several times that people who see us on the street stop us. Hey, you're Pepe Dios and I'm this person, and then they tell me, well, I've seen you for a year, 2 years, whatever. And I say, well, how are you doing in the comments? No, I don't comment. In fact, almost every time we meet people on the street, they're people who don't comment, this kind of person. That's how it is. In fact, I remember, well, that was just one case. He had been watching us for 2 years and said he wasn't subscribed because he didn't have a Gmail account, so he couldn't see it, but he had already been watching for 2 years, so that was a record. That's what he said. He calls Madagascar a state, no matter who plays. Greetings, Amanda. Very good.
Greetings.
Silic, Ruben, and the community, thank you. Let's move on to other important matters, as there's more to discuss.
This is the first time in history that 3 aircraft carriers have been in the same area. There's no precedent for it.
But that's the historical side of this issue, let's say. Well, let's move on then to what's happening with this accusation against the Pentagon. Let's get into this topic. Well, there's an accusation being made against the Pentagon, and honestly, they've earned it because, well, it was Trump who came up with the idea. Honestly, I think it was basically just a distraction. Exactly, but there was no real intention of releasing anything to spread information related to UFO secrets, and I say why. Because of the comment that Avila made, this Harvard astrophysicist, when Trump gave that information, the same scientist who has been fighting for years for information to be revealed, for it to be disclosed, he himself came out and said, "It's not good for things from the Pentagon to be made public because it means other countries will know the secrets and it's not going to happen." That's basically what was said. They can reveal certain things that are heavily redacted, but if they reveal images, especially videos, and you'll be able to know about the capabilities to filter information, about capabilities, about speeds, about capabilities, even, let's say, even classified cameras that can detect things we can't even imagine. So those are details they won't reveal because they're simply giving away too much information. At least that was his opinion at that time. I don't know if that's changed since then, but the Pentagon was facing that. If I bothered her because there was already that line that was crossed. People's patience, because dates had been given over and over, and every time the date arrived, it was postponed and postponed and postponed. The order that was issued, by the way, by Congresswoman Ana Paulina Luna, a Republican congresswoman, on April 1st set the deadline for April 14th, which is today, and certain information had to be provided. It was supposed to be 46 videos. We talked about them here. 46 videos. What would be very important from the Pentagon? It's just that they already have them. Supposedly the congressmen have already seen those videos and that they wouldn't affect national security or anything like that, right? So these videos would include spherical objects, cigar-shaped objects, tic-tac type objects as they call them, which are white like one of those tic-tac breath capsules. It's, well, things like that. According to legislators, the material could reveal patterns of activity near military bases and war zones in some records. They would show sightings in critical regions like Iran, like Syria, and like the Persian Gulf. Just imagine.
Well, the one we show the most, the one about the jellyfish, is the Persian Gulf.
The Persian Gulf, if I remember correctly, is from Iraq.
It's Iraq, it's from Iraq. Well, there's also mention of a pretty serious incident where an alleged shooting down of an object happened in 2023 over Lake Huron, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in Canada, and that should be investigated. But anyway, the lack of response from the Pentagon has definitely caused outrage among the people who were waiting for this information. Besides, it fuels doubt as well as many conspiracy theories and theories about cover-ups. And while there's Ana Paulina Luna, the senator publicly stated that no one has responded. I mean, they haven't provided the information, they haven't sent anything. And she suggests that there are internal failures or deliberate blocking of information. And President Donald Trump had supposedly authorized the declassification of these files. Although a while ago we told you that a few months ago, an audio of him was revealed where he was talking to a journalist and he said that there were things he couldn't reveal. I mean, even though he is the President of the United States, there are certain documents that he doesn't even have the power to reveal. He doesn't say it because he's embarrassed to admit that he doesn't have the power to do that, but the reality is that they can't release everything.
No, not at all. And besides, there are also things that they aren't given information about that simply aren't shared with them, and some things end up in a sort of limbo. If the president finds out, for example, he would have to disclose them to avoid getting into legal trouble.
They avoided to stay out of trouble.
Exactly. So there are people close to him. He's supposed to know those things, but he doesn't. I mean, because if he knows, then it would imply other issues. I mean, the whole thing is kind of tricky, and honestly, nobody really knows how it works, but that's what they say at least. Now, witnesses have continued. They've insisted. They've been reporting that these images and these videos should have been revealed years ago. I mean, this isn't a recent issue. It was going to speed up. For example, there's a second video of this Medusa. That's what they call it for those who want to watch the video again. They're in the previous videos or also on Twitter. The video of a Medusa is everywhere, which looks like an object that camouflages itself in the air, right? And it goes by in front of a military base. When I saw the video for the first time, I said it's impossible. It's like, really? Your mind kind of crashes there, like, what the heck is this?
When you find out that on top of that, the camera is a thermal camera, not just any camera.
No, it's not just any camera. It's detecting like changes in the temperature of the object that doesn't even look like an object. It actually looks more like a jellyfish, that's the word. And it's floating as if nobody at the base even notices it. The surprising thing, the truly surprising thing, was when the officers revealed that the video was real. The habits we're talking about, and when we saw that, I remembered this one. Mexican astronomer who is a professional astronomer who, well, not here on the green route, sometimes sends us comments. Obviously anonymously, because he has a contract that doesn't allow him to share information about certain topics publicly. He can't do it, at least not publicly. And he told us about that. He said that when you look at certain places in space, you see things that look like jellyfish, that look like organic structures. They're not just like one thing. It's not the typical, exactly, it's not the typical object. You also see things like that, you know. In fact, he told us about the Black Knight. Remember, there's like an object. Exactly, there's an object that's supposed to be called the Black Knight, which is an object that's in the sky. They believe it's been on Earth for a very long time. No, it's like some kind of probe. Sometimes one is seen in one place, then others are seen elsewhere. But they don't really know exactly what it is. And he said that there wasn't just one, that according to what astronomers say, there are three of these objects, supposedly. Who knows, right? But the idea that there's something more stuck with me, that apparently seems to be organic and all that. And then what Tim Burchett says,
Right? Yes, he has been super active all this month.
Congressman Tim Burchett says that what they have seen would basically change everything. It's just like that. It would change everything. The way we conceive things, and if we go further back, and I'm going to recommend a series to you, and I'm going to watch it again with a different perspective now, which is this German series. What's it called? The one about traveling? Dark. Exactly. It's called Dark. Check it out, please. Many of you have probably already seen it. It's very famous on Netflix and called Dark. And among these reports that have come out in the hearings and all that, one of them, don't count this one, George Napo de Vidrio, one of them. I'll check again later and we'll do more. We'll do a special about that, but let me watch Dark again because I want to refresh my memory. So, entonces, I want to know what he means because he says that the UFO phenomenon has nothing to do with people coming from other places or other planets, but rather it's more related to what happens in dark, he said. And we have to remember that dark is a kind of experience where they are changing time and going back and forth in different times and changing realities, not changing reality itself, supposedly. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's how it is. That's the point. So what they're saying is that this phenomenon is closer to that than to the classic idea of a little being coming from other parts of the universe. Well, this is really interesting. The accusation is especially interesting to consider. Donald Trump spoke up and said all the information on the subject has to be revealed, it has to be made public, which hasn't happened, and it seems like it's far from happening even though Congress is demanding it and setting deadlines that aren't being met.
Exactly. It's not the first time that the release of certain information has been requested and they don't do it, and well, time keeps passing.
Let's move on to other important information. The other interesting matters drawing attention today. First of all, let's look at this image that surprises us today of this J.D. Vance at an event that's supposed to be one of those events where a lot of people are supposed to attend.
It's a pause.
The famous turning point. Look at how it is. There's J.D. Vance speaking, listening in the background. Vance.
It's supposed to be an event that...
Even when I disagree with how he's applying the children.
Just the event. There are no people there. There are very, very few people in the center. Well, that obviously caught people's attention today. And among these comments, this happened. Let's listen to this moment when he shouts at the people, at someone from the crowd. Let's listen.
Like the administration that solved the problem, but the press, the president, Excuse me, sir. Right now, right?
He says to a person who was in the audience, he says, "Are you a child killer? This is for supporting the war in Iran, for supporting the situation in Israel and what has happened in Gaza." We know that he gives him quite a harsh criticism. He says here in Chile, he tells someone who is around there were few people, and the people who went, well, obviously there were some who applauded him, evidently, but there were also people who were upset. There are people who are very upset. Right now, within certain groups that supported Trump, when they saw him dressed as Jesus, acting like he was miraculous, that was the last straw. Consider all the awful things he's done. It turns out that a photo and a meme and something like that, well, if it's out of line, honestly, I mean, it's just common sense, right? But anyway, the fact that this is what's making people the angriest? No, not everything else. Not everything that's happening with the case. No, not that. I mean, an image published by the same person acknowledged that he published it himself. So it turns out that, and besides, the explanation he gives is just, no. I imagine myself as a doctor treating someone. No, that's not true.
Yeah, he's treating everyone like idiots. It's clear what's happening.
And it's so serious that the reaction from this guy, Michael Johnson or Mike Johnson, the one from Congress, the President of the United States, I mean, you can clearly see his annoyance about it, yes.
He got upset because he always tries to justify it.
Exactly. He didn't like discussing it and just said, yes, I called him right away. He says, when I saw the image and he explained it, I told him I don't think they're understanding it that way. And then he supposedly took it down, like he was saying kind of like, thank you.
He took it down because he doesn't usually take things down. The Obama video and this one, he generally never removes anything.
But he's really good at getting attention. You say, this is a power. It's true. I mean, it's a power. I mean, no, I'm not saying it in a good way. I think in a bad way. But everybody has a talent, and I think his talent is being explosive when it comes to going viral. There are people who do studies, who do research to see how virality works when it comes to creating content. How? Because if someone had the formula, well, they'd be doing it and everything would go viral, everything would be viral. I mean, no, it doesn't work like that. But he seems to have an extraordinary ability to do things that everyone talks about. Quite a few people do that. I mean, here in Mexico, this angle was like that. I mean, we have to remember what politicians talked about here for years. The media, all left, kind of right, kind of whatever you want. Everyone talked about what AMLO said before he became president. Long before, he had the upper hand when it came to information, and everyone else, all the others, everything else, they were just reacting to him. So when he wasn't even president yet, why do you have to be reacting all the time to everything he says? Same with Calderon, same thing. I mean, you ask yourself, what abilities? There are few people, right? Milei is another figure who also has that ability, except that with Milei, you get it in the sense that he's so eccentric that there's no way he doesn't attract attention. He's too eccentric, way too much. It's already something on a surreal level, right? I mean, he shouts, sings, says bad words. I mean, he goes to the most bizarre level of all. For me, he's the most bizarre of all in that sense. It's impressive, the abilities of politicians. These days, the ones who get attention used to be different types. Now the ones who get attention, it's not like that anymore. I remember that character from Back to the Future. Do you remember the one who used to hit Buff Biff? But in which one does he turn into ice cream?
Trump was there.
You are.
It's based on Trump, of course.
It's based on Trump, the businessman, because he wasn't.
Yes, he's always been like that. He's always been super extravagant, always wanted to get attention. So it's based on that version of Trump.
That's why I really recommended the documentary about Roger Stone on Netflix. Please watch it if you're interested in communication or politics. Watch the Roger Stone documentary because his theory of political communication is that the only way to really achieve anything in life is by being famous. It's a very bizarre idea, right? Just becoming famous for whatever reason. It doesn't matter, basically for whatever reason. That's why you've seen Trump in wrestling events. Have you seen it? I mean, wherever, doing whatever, this guy doing whatever it takes to get attention, basically, right? So is that why this whole Trump Jesus thing, it's at an even more bizarre stage now, the craziest of all, where you have a war going on over there. You have a very serious internal situation, you have too many problems. And I think that's something that in many countries is appreciated. In Mexico, I think it's valued because people say, that's good, they're entertained elsewhere, so they won't get involved here. The more they're occupied over there, look, everything's perfect, everything's great, because if it's too much, it's a really crazy stage where he wants to get involved in everything. I mean, today getting involved in England's oil sales policies. England in the North Sea, I mean, telling the English, no, you should allow oil to be extracted, and it's not even your land, it's not your continent, nothing. I mean, if they want to extract oil or not, that's really their business. Actually, it's not in your best interest since they're ultimately buying from you. I mean, it would be another rival who is also selling more oil just like you. We know he gets involved in everything.
Exactly. In fact, today a poll came out where they said that more than half of Americans do believe that he's already losing it along the way. I mean, he's not balanced in the way he acts. He's acting a little impulsively. Well, actually quite impulsively.
Yeah, well, what they were talking about yesterday in Congress. I don't know if you saw the letter they sent to Congress. You likely missed it, but we mentioned it in the live stream. You didn't watch it, did you? We did a short 10-minute stream in the afternoon with several clips I knew I wouldn't have time to discuss now. Among them, there's a letter sent by economists, psychologists, and experts in many fields. They send a letter to Congress in which they ask Congress to please have expert psychiatrists and psychologists evaluate him. Basically, because the level of strange things that are happening is already too serious. And they ask themselves, what about psychological stability? Basically, no. They're asking Congress to pay attention, and they obviously sent it to all the congressmen. Let's see if they actually dare to do it to tell him. Or, that you have to take a test.
Psychological test.
Psychological and well.
Today I was giving it to her. She played Jesus and they'd ask, what do you think, son? I honestly don't even know what to say. I should see a psychologist because I've been left speechless, she says when I saw that post. Well, what do you say?
What do you say? What can you even comment? At that point, it's really intense. But anyway, let's move on to several topics because there are reactions to what's happening in the Middle East. First of all, there's a proposal from Pakistan to extend the ceasefire not just for 2 weeks, but for 45 days. What's going on?
Well, Pakistan is asking for the ceasefire to be extended for 45 days. And well, that's according to a diplomatic source from Pakistan, who said that Islamabad has been contacting multiple parties since the agreement wasn't reached over the weekend. They are seeking a consensus to extend the truce and thus resume technical level contacts between Washington and Tehran. It's important to remember that in the coming days, maybe within 45 hours, this meeting could take place. That's the idea being discussed, right? This source also added that the intermediaries are helping to facilitate exchanges between both parties on pending issues. So, what now? Let's say it would be really good to have this 45-day extension to make things very clear.
Well, anything that buys time in a conflict is interesting at the end of the day. Well, the idea is to negotiate. That's the idea. Now, internally, other things are happening. I think there's also, an operation, maybe even a stronger opposition, which might not necessarily have to do with Reza Pahlavi, from what they say, because it seems that no, it's not. He has been a figure who has managed to bring all Iranians together, which is also difficult. At least that's what we see right now. Let's move on to another important matter. Well, there's something else.
Well, there's a comment that Trump made today. He had an interview with Fox with this journalist named Maria Bartiromo, who is super pro-Trump, where he claimed that the war was already over. That was the comment. In fact, I don't think the interview has even aired yet, but she made this comment after the interview and told me about it. She said, he kept telling me that the war was already over.
Let's see if the interview airs. If the interview is released, you'll question our discussion. That's why it's already finished, even the people at Fox News.
And now they're a bit thrown off.
Thrown off, and now a third aircraft carrier is heading to the Middle East, like you're saying, because if it doesn't come back, it won't matter. It comes back. So why do you want to spend so much? I'm not saying anything yet. And that the aircraft carriers have this nuclear system, and in theory, they're efficient. In quotes, a huge amount of food, they throw away extras, and it's impressive. And besides, it raises tensions in the region. Having a third aircraft carrier there is almost like, a much bigger war. Now, ahora, let's move on to another topic. Let's move on to another interesting matter as well. And a report that also draws attention. Today it was said by Iran that 6 ships had passed. No.
They said that 6 ships had passed?
Yes, exactly. 6 ships had passed through the Strait of Hormuz, 6 Iranian ships, and basically as if saying, the United States isn't blocking anything. No, but now the United States Central Command responds. They are direct statements, but it says no, that all 6 ships turned back, that not a single Iranian ship crossed. That's what the Central Command is saying right now. They say that during the first 24 hours of the operation in the Strait of Hormuz, no ship managed to break through the blockade imposed by the United States. This is part of the movement they're making, by the way, 10,000 Marines according to what they've said. So basically, the operation for them, at least according to what they say, is successful in that sense. So supposedly no one dared to cross the area. That's not what I'm saying.
Exactly. According to them, the military authorities claim that the measure is being applied impartially to ships of all nationalities trying to enter or leave the port of Iran, including those that are in the Persian Gulf and in the Gulf of Oman itself, but there it also affects the Gulf countries. No.
Yes, I suppose so. I mean, in that case, well,
I had already told her while we were talking that I didn't want her doing that because if they close the one in Yemen, nothing will get through.
No, exactly. I mean, the threat is real and the Iranians have carried out their threats. So far, what you're saying is true. Yes. The United States keeps closing off the area. If it's true that they close it, they're going to close this other one too. And then, watch out. I don't know how they're going to handle it. Well, that's how things are over there. How have you been, Martin, Roble, Perla, Guillermo? How have you been? Very good. Well, what else? What else is going on over there?
About the Iran topic, I think we're done with that. Well, there's a comment from him. What's his name again? But a politician. Let me see Ted's name.
Cruz.
Yes, well, Ted Cruz, who claims that Cuba has been supporting Russia in the fight in Ukraine. Well, what we do know is, that there are images showing that Cubans were sent to fight in the war in Ukraine, some believing they were going for something else and others. Maybe if they already knew, right? But, well, according to Ted Cruz, Cuba had provided 5,000 fighters for the war between Russia and Ukraine, and that's what the public records say. They do not prove that Havana officially sent all the fighters. However, there are significant indications that the regime allowed or selectively facilitated this flow knowingly. If the Cuban regime has not managed to protect its citizens from being used as pawns in the Russia-Ukraine war, that's the comment Ted Cruz is making today about what it's been doing. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because in the end, Cuba decides whether you can leave the island or not. If they're going to Russia, where would they logically go? Well, to war or to fight or to work in the factories because they also have a shortage of male workers since many have had to go to war.
Well, that's what he's talking about. Ukraine is on a tour of Europe. Today we saw Zelensky with Merz, the German Chancellor, but he also appeared with the Prime Minister of Norway, with Støre, right? He's the one who's here and was making several agreements. What happened there?
Well, in Germany, what we do know is that they made a strategic defense agreement. They've been making a lot of defense agreements. He also made one with Saudi Arabia, one with the Emirates, I think, and with Oman regarding the issue of drones. And well, Germany and Ukraine signed this strategic defense partnership today, which is focused on military and technology cooperation with the goal of improving the air defense capability of the Ukrainian armed forces. And well, this agreement was announced today in Berlin, where the team from Kyiv was present and where they will be providing supplies. Also missiles, software, command and control systems. They have been sharing information, technology and so on, as well as experience.
There was no experience. Well, now there is.
And that's the one from Norway?
It's the one from Norway, yes.
Because Norway had promised them some F-16s, but those F-16s, let's say, needed to be fixed. They fixed them, so they're headed to Ukraine now.
Well, there they are. They're signing with the Norwegian representative. This is very interesting what was said today. They were talking about the meaning of having. It's necessary that if we're going to be part of the European Union or part of NATO, we should be full members because that's what they wanted. Not just halfway, kind of yes, kind of no. He said, let's see, let's suppose I send them.
Halfway, kind of.
How do you want it? Should I send full defense support or not? Sending it halfway doesn't make sense. If we're sending it, it should be complete. We've earned our place, haven't we? Like saying, or at least we're fighting to earn our place. Well, let's move on to other interesting topics. Look, I got this information and, well, it really caught my attention. There isn't an official report on the matter, and I'm going to correct this because it's not accurate, but I'm going to mention it because it's going around. And this says here the countries with the highest childhood obesity comparing 2018 to 2026. Well, I'm telling you right now, the report is wrong, it's incorrect, but it caught my attention. I thought hopefully it's true, right? But anyway, let's not say it, even though there's no official report, because that should be done by the WHO, since they're the ones with the most recent data, but there is an approximate percentage of childhood obesity and all that stuff. So more or less, if you look at it, it's way off from what it says there, that China is in first place and Mexico is in eighth. Well, in reality, Mexico is much lower than that.
Much lower, much lower. Well, I thought it was going to be higher.
But it's not such good news either. Don't think that, because what happens is that there are many Pacific islands with extremely high obesity rates, and there are countries where like only 5,000 people live and there's a lot of obesity in those countries, right?
No, it's correct. It was calculated as a percentage of the population, even if the population is small.
Exactly. So for the top spots, whatever, Mexico's ranking is below the United States. That's true. That surprised me since Mexico once had a higher childhood obesity rate than the United States. That's the example of the highest obesity. No, normally being above that was incredible. Now Mexico is below as well. I mean, it's been years of a lot of information, a lot of culture, a lot of awareness, and there's a lot of it.
There's been an important change in their food.
I think there is a lot of very nutritious, very tasty, classic Mexican food. Eat that, and don't eat the junk they sell you as chips. But anyway, the point is that the first place is Nauru, and the Cook Islands and Palau, and the Marshall Islands, Tonga and Samoa and Micronesia and Kiribati, Vanuatu, Fiji. They're all islands that have extremely high obesity rates, right? But aside from that, that's why these rates are very interesting. Aside from that topic, China doesn't have higher obesity than Mexico, nor is it much lower. China is far below the United States. Yes, they do have it. Obesity has increased in China, but they're still far from what's happening here, except for the countries I just mentioned. There, the United States ranks first and Mexico second. The numbers are still high, and I don't want to downplay any country, but they're just such small countries. Well, I mean, population-wise, they hardly represent anything, right? I mean, there are very few people there. So, well, that's why they kind of leave them out of the lists. So that's where the United States comes in, considering them as countries, let's say above 1 million, just to make it more relevant. The United States is first, so Mexico would be second, which is still high. And then there's New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and there are many more countries. But India isn't even there, and when I saw the report, I said India. Well, I don't know, China really caught my attention. Yes, the problem is increasing, but it's still far behind, very far behind. I mean, in the end, they have that kind of thing very much under control. Problems due to their government type and how they manage things. Yes, the problem has grown, but it's not nearly as severe as in the United States. It's nowhere near Mexico either. Sadly, it's still very evident here. And even though there are some changes, I mean, even just taking a small step down, even if it's just a little, is important. But the problem of childhood obesity is really tough. It's tremendous. And because it's the factor for early mortality, for cancer, for a lot of diseases, so yes, it's definitely a very concerning issue, especially when it starts in childhood, because if it starts in childhood, basically you're essentially making sure that tendency will likely last your whole life.
It's something you always have to be very careful about, making sure that children don't become overweight, because later on, as adults, life will be very complicated for them.
Extremely complicated. It gets complicated. But anyway, that's the ranking that's been circulating lately. It really caught my attention. I found it very interesting. But anyway, that's the latest information. Now, the WHO warns that more intense policies are needed, right? But of course, nobody pays attention. We talk about it, but I mean, what they say is that it's been proven that the countries that have implemented more aggressive policies against junk food and all that have actually lowered the rates considerably during...
So the problem isn't tacos, the problem is cereals, the problem is sweet pastries, the problem is ultra-processed food, fortunately.
And excess, right? Because if you eat a sweet bread every now and then, but you exercise and eat well all the other days, hey, then go ahead and have that sweet bread once a week.
I mean, for example, the issue with cereals, everyone thinks that having cereal for breakfast is something healthy, when in reality it causes a huge sugar spike.
Yeah, otherwise it's not ideal then.
It's not like I never say it, but we're talking about cereals for kids.
Yeah, but for example, some oatmeal.
Oatmeal is different. I'm referring to the usual processed boxed cereal.
The sugary kind.
The sugary kind, which causes a huge sugar spike. That's what kids from the 80s and 90s lived on.
We lived?
We survived, really. And the sang el
Pegatanga is here. I mean, before we survived other interesting things.
Well, there's a very strange case in the United States involving an 85-year-old French woman who has been detained by ICE. This woman had gone to the United States. She just moved because she married a boyfriend from the 1950s. Imagine that. They were sweethearts. For some reason, they separated and then they found each other again. She traveled to the United States in her 80s and married him. And now ICE has her detained, just imagine.
How old is she?
85 years old.
I think he wanted the green card.
I didn't see that.
Well, I mean, she fell in love. The lady wanted to reunite with her boyfriend.
I know about her life.
In 1950, he goes to the United States and they detain her there.
They arrest her there. I mean, they bathed her, handcuffed her, and have her confined in a detention center. Obviously, the family already has 86 years of family history. Ma'am, the family is extremely worried about her health because obviously she is already an elderly person. The officials from the French consulate have tried to get her released, but they haven't been able to. One of her sons told the newspaper France that Immigration and Customs Enforcement has treated his mother as if she were a criminal. And for us, it's urgent to get her out of the detention center and bring her back to France. Because of her health, she won't last even a month in the condition she's in while detained. They don't make exceptions there. People from Europe and Latin America are here, but everyone is treated equally badly. There's also a case of a Canadian woman with her 5-year-old daughter who was traveling in the United States, and they were detained and are also being held in a detention center like that. He said that neither he nor his sister nor his brother, that is, there are 3 of them, have been able to get any information about her. They weren't notified. She has serious heart problems and also back issues, and well, she's being held along with 70 other people in one of those cubicles or cage-like enclosures they have there at AIS.
Well, that's the issue, right? It's a tremendous case. I was remembering the case of Nancy Guthrie. Let's do an update on how that case is going tomorrow, okay? And well, there have been some interesting details, but tomorrow we'll organize it and talk about it. Honestly, there have been very few changes. But anyway, that's the case of, well, Nancy Guthrie, a good mother, a writer, and the mother of a well-known host on USA Today. And well, she's still around. I don't know if she took a break or not, but I also remember because of her age that she's also over 80. Yes, and besides, with health problems, because at 80 you can still be around, but you can also be very healthy. A lot of people are and go on with their lives. Look, didn't we talk about the video topic the other day? The people from Business Insider did a report on people over 100 years old without trauma from this. And it's really nice because he was like, let's go. And there were 5 or 6 people and they were interviewing them about what their life was like, right? And they're interviewing them, and the man who's 100 and something years old, they've interviewed him, and it's good, but let's go for a drive. And they go for a drive in the car. The man driving his car, over 100 years old, driving his car like it's nothing, driving well. And then another lady, 107 years old, African American, giving some comments and with tremendous mental agility. So it's not like, oh, my life, that I'm just here with my husband. Her husband had already passed away. She was married for 85 years.
There's more.
The week before the interview, she had buried her son, her 85-year-old son. That is, her son passed away at 85 years old, already elderly, and the mother was still alive. She is still alive, and on top of that, the lady is super agile. You think, what a great choice and what a great interview they did. But this is becoming the reality now. I mean, people live longer and live well. I mean, a lot of people reach ages that used to be hard to reach. You don't see them at 102 anymore? No, they don't look like that. I have the video. I'll send it to you if I can find it around here. But it's really amazing because you see things like this. Well, what do you think a 100-year-old is going to look like? Maybe one of them does look 100, but the rest look more like they're 80.
Yeah, right.
The truth is, yes.
That lady and the 100-year-old man, the one who was driving, yes, it's...
I don't remember what the video is called. El video. Well, we'll put it on right now because the case is really something. I mean, the report. And they have several reports about people in their 90s competing internationally, competing in exercise events. And I think that's crazy. Well, let's move on to other matters, other interesting topics as well.
Well, there's an update being given about the earthquake we reported yesterday, right? 5.7 over there in Nevada. Well, this earthquake has already generated more than 100 aftershocks, and it was quite powerful. After this earthquake, we saw these 100, and the epicenter is located in a place called Silver Lake, within the geological area known for its high instability. Tectonics experts say that what we're starting to see is stretching, meaning a fracture is occurring. In other words, there are the well-known faults, and that's what's responsible. In addition, this phenomenon occurs within a seismic zone called Walter Lane, one of the most active in the western United States.
I'll quickly share an interesting fact I just found. How many earthquakes did you say?
More than 100.
More than 100 if we count from here, all of them. I mean, if the last 7 days I went a little further back, let's see how it was. The last 7 days there have been 151 earthquakes in the area in the last 7 days. Well,
the thing is that cracks are already starting to appear in parking lots like Walmart's. It has been reported by 6,100 people that they felt this earthquake. Even in places as far away as Reno, and even in parts of California, people are talking about this. This phenomenon has generated some concern about the possibility of a major earthquake in the future. It is considered, as they say, a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before a big one happens in this area too.
a big one.
Want to go?
But the snow. Well, there it is. That's the interesting thing.
At least they're also looking into whether there's another reason, a human reason for why this earthquake is happening. Something in an industry that could be affecting what's there.
I understand that besides Nevada, there are military issues, but there must also be other things, like mines or something. Who knows? We'd have to check there. But for those who live near California, who know Reno, who know Carson City, for example, this area, look, zoom out a little here. This is the area for those who live in the region. You can also tell us what kind of industries are there. Let's see if that gives us an idea of what's happening in this area. Besides the geological aspect, that there might be another reason, especially because it's very shallow. The earthquake is very superficial. It's not that deep.
They're all 5.4?
5.4, exactly.
They're not very deep. What can cause something like this could be geothermal energy operations, mining, or underground fluid injection, which is fracking.
Well, that's the thing. It's also part of what we still have pending, right? Let's update. So let's go to the comments, and let's also look for that image I mentioned of these. What do you call them when they're 100 years old?
Centennials.
Centennials, right? They're like the coin, yeah.
Well, if you have 100, it's a centennial.
Imagine that. Let's go to the comments in the meantime. Do you remember Kurt Russell? Yes, the actor, right? He plays a character in an Apple series called Monarch. The Monster Legends or something like that, or the Legend of the Monsters, where Godzilla and King Kong appear and all that. But it has a good cast besides him, right? It has a good cast, and it's interesting, it's something new, and they add suspense, drama. It has a bit of everything. The main characters are Japanese and American, right? It's like an interesting combination. Kurt Russell is also an important character, and I remembered because he's supposed to be 90-something years old there, right? Clearly, I feel like there's more to it. I don't know, but there must be something else since he's supposedly just 90 and that's it.
Besides, because they really focused on that topic, right?
Yeah. That topic really stood out, and well, this video is called...
Are there images in mine?
Yeah, here it is. Check out the video if you want to see it, because, well, I can't show more. I can show a little bit. I'm going to put a few little things here and there. This is the Business Insider channel, the official channel. It says life lessons from people who are 100 years old, right? Basically, yeah, this is a lady. They're all over 100, right? This lady is 107 years old. Like it's nothing, the lady, like it's nothing. She's the one I'm telling you about. She buried her 85-year-old son last week. No, wait, 86, sorry. Her 86-year-old son. And as far as I know, she was born in 1917. 17. Just imagine that, do the math. And then 1917 according to this, right? 107 years old. Now her husband was with her for 85 years, right? And look at this other lady. This lady, I don't know how old she is, but they're all over 100, right? And I don't remember that one, right? But that man there too, he's the man who goes out driving, also over 100 years old, that man. That lady is, how can I put it? Like, I told him, she caught my attention. This lady, this one right here. What caught my attention was the way she expresses herself. Very youthful and using, I don't know, very modern ways of speaking. That's how she seemed to me, you know?
It's like, no, she was tweeting at me and then,
It's like, yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, not really.
man, jerk, she's such a liar. I mean,
Maybe the lady who might look like her, who looks a little bit like her, she does look a little more like her.
the age?
But even so, she looks really good. I mean, but I'll put the part where the man is driving. But anyway, what does the community say? How's the chat?
Greeting Walter Osorio, Marta Garibaldi. As Christy says, I hope that lady who's 107 has been with her husband all those years by choice and her own decision, because that's a lot of years, that's too many.
Yes, well, the lady. Well, watch the video and tell me. I think so, but I don't know. I think so, but maybe this one.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's already been 85, I think. You're only still there by choice now, I guess. I don't know if it's about endurance, but this guy there, look, driving like that.
The man looks great, but he's super...
Great. I'd seen another video of a 100-year-old man driving, but he looked like the classic type, hunched over, sitting close, making you think, look at them.
It's a documentary, that's it.
I would say it's more like a report format, but it's 15. How long is it? It's 15 minutes long.
Yes, this is a short report similar to those from DW and also done by Business Insider.
Yes, exactly. I'll add the link anyway since he won't watch.
He dyed his hair. Yes, no. I think it's a wig. I mean, because, well, African American women wear wigs a lot, so most likely this is a wig. Greetings to Silvia Matadi Marcos, who today looks like she's 80. Yes, right? It's impressive. Actually, Pepe told me about it because I haven't seen it. Honestly, I haven't had the chance. I had forgotten. He told me, they say they feel like they're 80. Well, when you're 100, 80 does seem very young because, well, it's 20 years younger. Yes, exactly. It's like if I said I feel like I'm 20, well, of course. No, just... there's a show that I watch the most. It's The Voice. Like that, I have no idea what it's about, but is it number one? Is it super popular? Pepe started watching it with...
It's ours, and we'll keep watching. It's just on a short break, but yes, I watch it while working from home. No. It's just that there are others that have been better, right? But it's the superhero one, right? Yes. No, it's good. The thing is, one character drags a bit, honestly. I mean, it's good, but
Of course, because he represents that whole group, yes.
Yeah, suddenly that art...
That character. He's especially intense this season, isn't he? Yes. Greetings to Panterita, that 15 plus 15 greetings, Panterita. Greetings, Panterita. I just remembered when Pepe mentioned, well, it wasn't Christy, it was about the husband. I remembered this one. What's the name of that actress you love? This one? Scarlett Johansson. I think she'd already had 2 or 3 marriages, but she was only with this controversial guy briefly. The one from One Better After Other, the military guy.
That's it, no.
I don't know. One After Other? Yes. The co-star, the villain.
Penn.
Sean Penn, she married him for a year or 2, but she's still with him. He was her boyfriend. No, he was also her boyfriend. I saw the pictures. No way. I swear, look it up on the internet, dude. RRB.
He's super old for her.
No, she was married to Ryan Reynolds, then got involved with him, and I've been following her.
Let's see, what's her name?
That's Sean Penn, and no, but Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett. And then she married, I don't know who, and now she's married to one of the guys from Saturday Night Live. And she once said that humans shouldn't be married to someone for more than 15 years. No.
No?
Dummy.
No. 4 or 7.
No, not 4 or 7.
No. Yes.
No, more. No, just imagine. Yes.
Yes.
See, she was with him for 3 months.
Crazy.
I didn't know that. I remember because I saw some pictures of her looking really messy at a restaurant.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean,
a big difference.
You can really see the difference. It's wild.
I mean, but your dad, yes.
Yeah. No.
I mean,
I get that. I mean, your dad really takes care of himself, honestly. Even right now, physically, he looks impressive.
It seems like that dad is very intense.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, not at all. No, very intense. He's very intense. Yeah. Well, but it's also Kali.
She's really chill. People say if you join her for breakfast on the live stream, you'll see how chill she is. Greetings to Sergio Garcia. He says waters matter and antimatter. Changing to more intense topics. More intense. Sergio Garcia says matter and antimatter exist because there is a third Trinitarian kind similar to body, soul, and spirit. Okay.
Very interesting, this Francisco Garcia.
The parody of Trump is that blonde guy, mainly the voice. Yes, the voice. He represents that market. Yes, 40 and 20, and just imagine. Ryan Reynolds, and she was married to Ryan Reynolds for a little while.
With Ryan, him with a young woman, right?
Yes, I think so. Yes, of course. Yes, of course not. Well, Perla says, in Argentina we have Mirta Legrand, 98, 99, she's an actress.
Mentioned, yes.
She hosts a current affairs show where people have lunch and she invites guests to the table. She's super sharp and in great physical shape. Well, look, the people we've talked about, they're already quite old, like 90, 100 and something. We've realized that if you stay active, you stay sharp. The problem is when people are left at home, they don't work anymore, they don't do anything, and it's like they start to fade away.
Whether you stay active at home or not at home, it doesn't matter, but I tell you to stay active in something.
People who stay shut in, don't go out, and do nothing start to decline. But many who do go out, do activities with friends, and take Chinese classes or whatever, stay super sharp. Right. Yes. The squirrels don't move.
New things. Yes. I mean,
Contact with young people is also super important.
it's not, what's it called? Not being in your comfort zone, right? I mean, yeah, that's a really important thing.
Wow, she has no idea about her father, what luck he has. No, he's not ugly. I'm not saying that. I just don't like how intense he is. Greetings to Gus, who says that those of us who are 80 should be left a little oxygen. Greetings, Gus.
Greetings.
To Ruben Williams from Argentina, whom we've already mentioned. Greetings. This is a different comment from someone else. Greetings to Panterita, who says she's been blooming for a week but with marigolds. I hadn't heard that one before. Greetings to Jalala, who says, hello, good evening, community, sending the best vibes and wishes. Greetings, Jalala.
Greetings, Jalala. He says, the one from the castle always betrayed when he met Chepo Buddha. Do you remember? Yes.
No, it's just that guy.
He looked bad there.
He'll do anything to get what he wants, right? He doesn't care.
He really doesn't care.
Greetings to.
He says, yes, with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, his current wife, Blake Lively, was the fan of the rules.
Yes.
Of Ryan and Scarlett. She was a fan. How could he do that to the gorgeous one? How?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know the guy. No, I do know. I mean, Blake Lively is like single or whatever you call it. Yeah, like she was a friend and then she got in there and split them up. And now she's paying for it big time, Christy. She's paying for it big time right now with that whole lawsuit mess that's blown up around her. And according to her, well, she's the victim, according to her. I mean...
Oh, Cleveley. Who's Lively? Is she an actress or what?
Yes, she's an actress. She's kind of a mediocre actress, you know? I mean, honestly, she's an actress. She's an actress. Greetings to Armando Antonio, who says when... She's really stuck up, honestly. She's really stuck up. And I've been reading about her whole history of how she's behaved with her coworkers, and she's not a good person. I mean, honestly, I know. Now he's suing another actor over a movie he claims.
And it turned out it was for a show.
It's all just for show. He's treated him terribly. Greetings to Armando Antonio, who says when God made light, Mirta Legrand already had 2 tickets.
Imagine.
Greetings to Ezekiel Cardona. Robla says, all the way to Venezuela. Honestly, I don't remember my age. Everything began in Chucucuya, where I left it all behind. Man, greetings to Marilena Novo, who says, hello, Pepe, Natas Netas, how are you? Good evening. Let's take care of our health to live very happily. Greetings, the Quiroz family. Greetings, Marilena.
That's right, Marilena. Greetings to Puebla. Very good. Margarita Garibay says, how are you, Margarita?
Greetings.
Greetings. It says here, Maria Victoria, Sergio Corona.
Do we have several?
Is Sergio Corona here?
I don't know who Sergio Corona is. Oh, he's a comedian, right?
Actor, right? Actor, yes.
Put it up because I might not know Marco Antonio Muniz.
They're almost at 100, Sergio. At least you'll see yourself.
Greetings to our grandmother. She says, could you do a section on series, anime, and movies that are the most watched? Oh, about series. Yes, she supports Chivas.
96, 17.
18, 19. Look, his fight against the crazy one.
Loco Valdez.
Loco Guzman, Loco Valdez.
97 years old. He was born in 1928. So he's 97 years old. And honestly, I don't know how he's doing, right? But, well, it says he's a Mexican actor, comedian, and dancer. Look at that. Dancer? Yes, that too. Sergio Corona. Greetings if you're watching us out there, because he's part of our audience. He's our audience. He's in our niche, let's say, right? No, but it would be interesting since we might have someone soon. And I think we've already had someone who's 100.
Well, it's just that everyone keeps getting older, so we're always going to have a new audience.
We're all headed that way.
How could we not? Of course, that's right. Say hi to him. How are you? He's in Costa Rica.
You know, there's someone who, I don't know, well, who told us that their dad, but their mom, I don't remember, was 98, 99. I don't know if she made it to 100 or was over 100 and still sent us greetings or things like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, well, greetings to Seima, who is watching us from Nicaragua. How are you? To Ed and Bruma, you're watching us from Florida. Greetings.
Greetings.
Very good. Christy also says Blake is pretty snobby, so it's good it didn't work out for her.
That's the word, snobby.
She's snobby?
Yeah, being preppy doesn't mean you can't be cool,
Not that you're not, no.
but the word is snobby.
Yes, his lawsuit drama didn't work out, and his true good self came out, and he even let Taylor Swift speak because he was so caught up in the drama.
Taylor Swift's friend.
She became famous from a show I never watched and can't even remember the name of. It was all about a bunch of rich kids, like from a super fancy school. Really, really. It was really popular back in its day, and one of the main characters, because there were several. She has a completely different life from hers. Her parents were in jail. She was raised by her grandmother. I mean, it's like, you know, it's an achievement that she made it there. Like, that's really great, right? And she made fun of her. She talked about her and said, how can you make fun of someone for being a citizen? I mean,
She bent down.
she bent down. Greetings to Navarra's dad. That joke's for the grumpy priests. Yes, the Vatican has Wi-Fi, but it's password protected. Hey, I asked the waitress for the Galician-style octopus an hour ago. I have no idea where the heck it is.
Alicio. It says here that imagine this Pepe Live 1900-2076. Imagine, man. I mean, it would be crazy. I mean, just imagine. What's the name of that guy, the journalist, the one who has a podcast here on YouTube? Very famous, always has been, has a night show, wears suspenders here. Yes.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name. Do you remember?
The man who interviews famous people.
Politicians. Bald guy, mustache. No.
I don't know who it is. I don't know who.
He means...
That it almost reached 100. That's great. That's awesome. Alba, she says, please give us an update on your husband and all the actors and actresses since we're interested. Ha ha ha. And it's part of the news.
Yes, I tell him, but he forgets information that's not important to him.
I realized that no, but now I remember I had already heard about this case. Yes, I remember that everything. I mean, for me, not knowing the gossip, well, for me, Renal was a nice guy. I mean, like, he's a nice guy. And it turned out that, well, he's not that nice.
He's not that nice. They say, yes, the series is great, but, you know, gossip wasn't called gossip, right? Something like that, right? So, watch it. But since that series, Black was already kind of snobby. Yes, because she has well-connected parents. And I understand that her parents, I mean, well-connected in the industry. I understand that they work in casting or are producers, her parents. Nepo babies? She's a Nepo baby, right? So, no, those parents don't struggle in life. Cheers.
He says, Sergio says, congratulations on your new microphones. They sound really good. Oh, that's great, Sergio. Yeah, we're not fighting over the microphone anymore. No, seriously, really, yes. It was uncomfortable since Astrid is really lazy.
No.
No. I mean, Astrid would just start talking and suddenly she was there. Ah.
Larry King. I was thinking of someone from here in Mexico. No, I was going to say that. Well, Larry King is also super famous, right? Yes, King. And he passed away, right? Huh? He went to the afterlife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him too.
Really famous, yeah. I mean...
I think on the last day of interviews, I did go up, yeah.
Yeah. I keep working. And he had his podcasts on YouTube and he was super sharp for interviews. Sometimes he does watch it, he gets to see it because his team would put it on for him sometimes. People who were really current, for example, there's an interview he does with Tyler, the Creator, I mean, with certain, what's it called? Famous people who were artists, singers, for example, who clearly didn't know Larry King and he didn't know them either. So it looked kind of, as they say, awkward. The interview, like the one with Tyler, I like Tyler and Larry King, but they both look bad in it. Watch the interview.
Right on.
There's no chemistry. I mean, Tyler puts his feet up and he does things that he thinks are funny.
But no, but that's not a joke. But a man who's almost 100.
Exactly. They don't fit, but neither of them really understood the other's dynamic. So yeah, it was what it was.
Yes, that to Christ, and I'm not religious, but in this case, I'm Team Pope. Yes, I know, me too. I'm not even Catholic, but yes, no.
I was telling that to Steele, and he said, hey, this situation is going to bring in a lot of new Catholics, young people who have found it crazy.
It's crazy how with Trump, there has been a boom in young people becoming Catholic. Just imagine, I mean, right now, and the ridiculousness of Jays, they go around justifying arguing with the Pope. Yes, arguing with the Pope when he's a new Catholic. And those guys, I mean, I get it. You can say something diplomatic. I mean, the thing is, it's not that you have to fight, but you can say something diplomatic.
Exactly. It's not that you're going to respond. I mean, but if you put yourself in Meloni's response seemed very interesting to me because, well, it was kind of moderate, right? I mean, it was like, oh,
Trump gets mad at her.
Or glove, like golden glove. White glove, right? White glove, like a classy slap in the face, right? I mean, the response was very classy, in my opinion.
And Trump saying she's weak or whatever, I mean, it looks really bad for him to do that. He'd be better off just staying quiet.
Exactly. Greetings, Francisco. Awesome. Martin, Raul.
Their microphones, no, they're not as big as they look, you know? No, they just look huge, but they're not.
Yeah, see, then they put... Oh, sorry, then look, at my height, I mean, the microphone really isn't... It looks small. Look, I mean, but also remember we changed the camera. So the camera, look, check out how my hand looks. Look, I mean, it looks really crazy. It looks like everything gets bigger when you bring it closer because it's a wide angle. So, well, I mean...
Guadalupe Arriaga is asking if you can share the link about women over 100 years old.
Of course. Yes, I already shared it, but I'll share it again. No problem.
Well, it says, greetings from Panterita, and I only believe in one God. I'm not religious. Greetings, Panterita.
Greetings, Panterita. That's great.
Raul Sex says, no one talks about the Vatican Bank's shady business anymore. Well, that's true too.
Yes, of course. No, I mean, now I really think all religions have their issues. I just put it out there.
You can't pin it. I can pin it. Martin Gutierrez says, the United States is the richest country in the world and the most indebted. But it has the climate, that was my comment, but it has a more extreme climate and natural disasters. It's the only country that's always in the news. But where are you from, Martin? Because I really do see them as very disconnected.
The national issues, yes, they do care a lot about them, but not the international ones.
But the bad thing is that it's a country that has a lot of influence internationally. I mean, Nicaragua or other countries can do things and nothing happens in the world. But when they make decisions, it really does have an impact.
Of course, yes. Today I saw a news item about Turkey condemning Israel, maybe about the defense of Lebanon and the death of children, says MTK. Well, let's see. What we're saying is just a clarification. No, it wasn't like that. I mean, the information was given. In fact, I removed it immediately. Alright, as soon as it came out, minutes later we made the report. Because we were also about to fall for that report, we were just about to make report 9. Hey, it looks like Turkey. So, does it want to generate or does it want to invade Israel? Because that's what the report said. It was released by the Telegraph. It was picked up by major international media outlets. It was like Turkey had said it was going to invade. This Erdogan had said he was going to invade Israel. And now the full real video came out and it has nothing to do with that. Yes, he criticizes. It is a criticism of Israel, but he doesn't say anything about invading. He doesn't say anything like that. But yes.
He's criticizing strongly.
Yes, he criticized strongly, but not to the point of suggesting invasion or anything like that. He hasn't done that recently, though in the past there were threats. With the idea of, let's say, moving military forces closer to the Kurdish area, for example, but not so much towards Israel. No, not to a plan like that, since that's a whole other level.
Yes, that tomorrow or the day after, the leaders of the Gulf countries are going to meet with Erdogan to discuss the issue of Iran, to see how they can solve it. I mean, because yes.
Where? Sorry, I do think there could be a conflict, yes. If we consider Turkey and Israel, there could be a conflict someday. No, the way things are right now, it would be in this area, look, here. But yes, that fake news was circulating a lot. It keeps circulating and circulating. It keeps circulating because they went with the edited video that, well, was intended to create this idea. Just like now, the articles have already come out. Either their media outlets removed the story or gave an explanation, right? That already came out too, but there are other media outlets that never do that. They just put out the news, whether it's wrong or right, they don't care. But in this area, look, that's where I do think there could be a confrontation at some point. If things escalate between Israel, Turkey, and Syria in this southern part, I mean, why? Because we have to remember that the Turks sent military forces to this whole area precisely because they are supporting the Syrian government. Remember, there have already been clashes between between the Syrians. Well, actually, there have been attacks from Israel against the Syrians, and the Syrians haven't responded so far. If you remember, Syria has tried to keep things calm with everyone, literally with everyone, with Israel, with Russia, with the United States, with the whole world. They've tried to keep things calm, and I think that strategy has worked for them. The strategy the Syrians have used is extraordinary. They've said, I'm not getting into trouble, let's fix our own issues first and then we'll see. But there are Turkish soldiers in Syria, so just imagine if Israel carries out another attack claiming there's a terrorist group and ends up hitting Turkish soldiers. If that happens, which I think could happen given how things are, then Turkey will definitely respond. I mean, Erdogan doesn't mess around. Remember, he shot down Russian planes at the time when, Russian planes have flown over NATO airspace so many times and NATO never does anything about it. Do you remember how many times? There were several with Turkey, but it only happened once. And that time they shot down the plane or planes immediately. They saw them, told them they had to leave. Well, not him, but the military said, look, you have to get out of the area. The Russians didn't listen. 5 minutes passed and they fired at them, shot them down. The pilot didn't die or anything, but they shot down the planes. The Turks don't mess around with the Russians or anyone else. So if Israel crosses the line with that, I think there could be trouble.
Yes, greetings to Tapatia. She says, I'm very Catholic, but I'm not worried about that problem with the Pope because the Pope is very intelligent and understands that he's sick. He's crazy. Thank you very much to Nancy for that super chat.
Thank you, Nancy, and thanks to everyone in the community for your support with a super chat. Really, thank you so much.
Yes, Raul Sachs, a provocative phrase. I don't believe in God, but he still gets in the way. Muy controversial. Raul Sachs.
Raul, how have you been? Hello, says Fanny. I'm 77. I really appreciate your comments and explanations. I learn a lot. Thank you so much, Fanny. Best regards.
She's very young.
Fanny, a very young woman.
Exactly, says Tapatia. The Vatican is a state and the Pope is like the governor and it's very different from the representative of the Catholic Church. That clears it up. Greetings.
Greetings, Tapatia. Hello, Kileo. How have you been? Hello to you too.
Greetings to Patricio Eduardo. Greetings, Pepe Astrid. I've been following you since the first signs of the pandemic appeared in China. Thank you for the channel. Greetings, Patricio. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks a lot, Patricio. Greetings to you too.
So, Jalala says, beautiful microphones. Congratulations. Could you send a birthday greeting to my wife who is turning 39, Macarena? I love her madly. Well, happy birthday to Macarena.
Greetings, Macarena.
Well, congratulations again.
Awesome, right? Congratulations. A big hug.
That's wonderful. She's already found the greatest thing, her partner's love.
That's right?
That's right. Hi, Fabis. Are you there? Want to order sandwiches? Go ahead.
And what if today?
Today we were walking down the street, right? I saw a new place called Hidalgo style sandwiches. Hey, that's so outrageous, huh? But really outrageous. I had never seen anything like that. I mean, it had meat, sausage, ham, bacon, and I was like, what's going on? You eat there and your heart just stops.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. You didn't either, no.
No, I thought it was a more normal sandwich.
No, it was a sandwich with, I don't know how many layers of meat.
Right, a lot. This Pepe says, I already want to be an avocado. Let's cut it.
You can do it.
Yeah, almost. I haven't seen the number, but remember we looked at it a while ago and mentioned the dates. If you want, we can check it later, right? Let's see how it's going. Greetings to Patia, future Aguacatona member.
Greetings to Human Fire. Hi, I've also been following him since the very beginning of the pandemic. Greetings, Human Fire.
Fire, how have you been? Hi there.
They didn't get my sarcasm or didn't know who gave the order? Greetings, Hambre.
Greetings to
Comment Williams. Greetings.
Greetings, William. Greetings, Guillermo. He is the best father who spoke up. The best father who spoke up for the Christians who are being killed by Islam. He's shameless, says Guillermo. No, well, yes, he has also spoken up about it. By the way, several already.
How old is Aguacaton? Christy asks.
In how many years? That's a good question. Let me think.
What kind of Aguacaton? There's Aguacaton and Diamond Aguacaton.
There's King Aguacaton,
right?
Diamond King? Yes, I think it's King Avocado.
Is there no diamond?
No, there's no diamond avocado.
And guacamole?
It's just that the king's crown has diamonds. Okay.
Let's see. It says, I think Bolaños is one of those, right?
I think so. I think so. And I also think it's this one. Yeah. Let me check how many there are.
It says, greetings to Martin. Did you see the speech in Venezuela? Just like before, Rodriguez with his green jacket talking about the civic military union and that no one gives the time, right? Yes, no, no.
Again, right? The same old show.
The same old show, and today they got hit with sanctions, so well, they're going to be really happy now.
Oh, and yeah, the Central Bank of Venezuela is crazy too. I mean, it's really something.
Greetings, let's see who's here. We want to say hi to Paterita. We've already greeted her. Greetings also to Guillermo Escobar. We've greeted her too.
Greetings. Hello there.
To Cleo Vasquez, yes, that crazy person doesn't know what he's saying, that Cleo. He's really crazy.
Laura is the one.
Greetings to Eva Montoya, Huacaton member.
Laura, member, here she is.
Yvonne is a Huacaton member,
Ah, Huacaton, see 3 avocados here.
but they're king avocados, right?
The king avocados are Laura, Adriana, and Agustina, right? They're the 3 avocado members.
What's this? It's the avocado with purple on it.
And that avocado.
I also follow. Since 2020, I'm also an avocado.
You're right. It's just not sorting me properly. Jorge too. Beto Gomez too. Beto Gomez is an avocado, not yet an avocado king. And Jorge is a king avocado.
Avocado Terrace.
And avocado terrace. Iracema is also an avocado. Luis Ferre is also an avocado. Olivia Bond is also an avocado. Sita Menchu is also an avocado. Wow, I'm looking. Karim, for me, Karim too, you know, he's new. I mean, new to being an avocado, I think. It says he became an avocado. Well, he rejoined 3 months ago, and now he's an avocado. Okay. Fabian says, no, he stays. Sometimes, if someone leaves for a month and then comes back. Fabian is also my avocado. I mean, there are several
members. Thank you so much to everyone who is a member. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to all the members.
Novalcius' dad says the doctor charged me little for the gallbladder surgery. Why? Because I don't do calculations very well.
You.
They say avocado has 2 meanings, and one is the lower part of a man. But they have a shape. If you notice, they have a shape and they're hanging like this. Greetings to Yesenia Rodriguez. Good evening. Greetings from Panama. Greetings, Yesenia.
Greetings.
Greetings, Monica Polanco. She says, good morning over here. Thank you, Pepe. I always watch you. I comment sometimes, but I'm loyal. I don't always comment, but I'm loyal. Greetings to the community. Greetings, Monica Polanco.
Here I put the chart. How is it? Look, since you criticize this, I ask how much? How much time? Look, here's the point, right? Let's see if I can put it up. Look, there it is. It says new member. It's blue, right? And then after a month, it's yellow. After 2 months, it's green. After 6 months, it has a little lightning bolt. And then after a year, it's red. Yes, after 2 years, it's red with gold. After 3 years, it's red with diamond. You say diamond, also tapatia. I think it's also diamond. After 4 years, it's avocado with a little purple. And after 5 years, they're king avocado.
You still need to raise it. It's missing.
Look, we should put one for 6 years because I think Laura and several others are already reaching 6 years. I just said I wasn't going to make a 6-year one because I'm unsure I'll last that long. 6 years doesn't feel like much to me.
More will come.
At the time, it felt really far away. When I made and placed the icons, we created them here and used that as our basis. In the comments, right? Based on the love we have for avocados, the community obviously includes me. So then after 6 years, well, I can't think of anything. I don't know.
Guacamole?
Camalito, what can we do after 6 years? Because I think it already applies. For here, for some of us, we're already going to think.
We're going to think. Thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
Greetings to John R. Travel, who is from Puerto Rico. Aurelio Garcia is also here. And he says, I've been watching you since 2019. I'm not sure when I started following you. I'm pretty new here. Greetings, MT.
Greetings.
It's pronounced Christy. I would already be an avocado, but once YouTube canceled my membership when my card was cloned and I had to rejoin, so my account restarted. Of course, because also...
Water that I brought with me.
Yes, 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 yes. Greetings to Guadalupe Arriaga. Greetings, Guadalupe. Greetings, Guadalupe. And it says greetings to Sol Garcia. She's here too.
Greetings.
Wow, says Guadalupe. I've been married 57 years. Oh, says Guadalupe. Congratulations,
And 7 years of marriage. Oh,
says Guadalupe. Congratulations. Water, Guadalupe. I'm turning 50, Guadalupe.
greetings. Water.
Dice Guadalupe, I'm turning 50 with you all too since around 2020. Hugs, my friends, big hugs, and don't forget about those who are sick. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Big hug. Say hi to your whole family.
She says it's good you're explaining for people like me who don't understand.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Our grandmother says yesterday the CEO of Microsoft told all the developers to go back to revert the changes that were made to Windows and that people rejected. On Steam, there were only 0.5% playing on Linux, and today it's 5%. So it increased because of the changes Microsoft made.
The Linux user. That's crazy. That's crazy. This weekend, my goal is to get started with Linux.
Some tacos? Let's get some tacos.
Some tacos. Also, I could go for some guacamole too.
Actually, the one with the most, or the big one.
The one that says here 10 years.
The calceton with a crown.
King Calciton.
King Calciton. The calceton and King Calciton.
Yes, it could be.
Well, he says, and so on, the greetings, he says, in the churches. Well, the issue of churches and minors is a really terrible, horrible thing, and, well, something has to be done about it.
Well, and things have been done, yes.
Things have been done, but there's still a lot left to do. There's still a lot left to do. Greetings to Damiano, a greeting from San Luis Potosí. I follow you every day. Excellent show. I rarely watch you live, but I'm very devoted to your show. Thank you very much, Damien.
Thank you very much, Damien.
Greetings.
Greetings. How have you been? The comment says. Post things about Monterrey like so that you turn into a soup taco from the video.
How delicious.
That's so good.
No, that thing about video tacos seems like nonsense to me. No.
No. It's just no. I mean, if they've never brought it to us in a container, the container of the...
I've already seen you do it. I've seen you.
The container with the cold noodles. The cold noodles. Just like the hot tortilla. You put the cold noodle on like this and that's how you eat it. And that's the delicacy. Fabi says, or the one from Paranormal Stories. Fabi says, to put this, what's it called?
It could be member. Someone says member. Someone is the name of another channel. What's it called?
Or the one from podcast 78, the one from podcast 78.
Or the one about paranormal stories? Yes, it says Menio. It says I subscribed in 2018, but I think I was watching it a little before that.
Menio. Awesome.
A big shout out.
How have you been?
Christian says, now I want those tacos. Oh no, Christy.
Well,
We're in the name. Greetings, Fabis. Pepe says, I sent you a short from Monterrey.
I'll check it for you today.
Mario Falcon, greetings. Mario Falcon, I follow you here every day from Mendoza, Argentina. It's 1:22.
Falcon, that's great.
Good vibes in bed? You're working?
Yeah, you and me. That's it. You're already kind of lying there on your phone or working. That could be it too. Could be. Yeah. Greetings. Hey Tapatia, you sent it to me on Twitter.
She typically sends everything via Twitter.
Yes, I did it for you today.
Greetings to Dice Martin. Nowadays, ghost and anomaly shows and videos can be made with AI or maybe not. But since people have no scruples about getting likes, there are a lot of fake ones, says Martin. Yes, right now everything that is video and photo is really complicated because it keeps getting better and better. You're just like, let's see, but is it real or not?
You're checking and rechecking and rechecking. It's tough.
One of those things. Greetings to Centro Familiar, who say hello from Durango, Mexico. My wife Blanca and I enjoy watching you. Greetings to both of you.
Greetings, Durango. How are things over there?
Greetings, Blanca. Hello. Greetings. And Cesar Garcia. I've been watching you since I was laid up in bed when I was here.
That's true?
Right? Yeah, I know. It was supposed to come out, but it didn't. But not that much. Just so they support me, like just at the beginning. Okay. Now I'm in. I'm fully in. Greetings to Norte, sir. He says, I've been following you since 2015, maybe?
Yes.
So how long has this channel been around?
Yeah, more or less, yes. Yeah, actually, it has even more. Let's see. It's the 26th and just turned 10/0/2016. So they've been following us since Ruta Verde.
I'm not sure if it's from Ruta Verde. Maybe. Mario Falcon says, lying down, listening to all the news. Nice, Mario. Very good.
Greetings.
He's following you from the road.
From the green route, of course. Yes, it just arrived recently.
Emma too from the road.
Message from YouTube. Emma, greetings to you too, from the green route.
I recently discovered you and honestly, I love the show. Thank you so much. Number 3.
February 3rd, 2007 was the first time the channel was created. Yes, February 3, 2007. That's why we just celebrated our anniversary. Not this one. Today is the 26th, right? Yes. So in 2017, 2027, it will be 20 years old. No. So yes, 2015 is correct.
No, you joined YouTube in February 2007.
This channel has been around since 2007.
Yes, but this channel didn't do anything.
No, I know. The channel has been around since 2007. So yes, 2015.
I was pregnant, so I would have noticed when Pepe arrived. There's this awesome thing called YouTube, and I said, that's it. It's going to start from the video route.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
no, when La Ruta Verde started, I mean, that's before YouTube.
before YouTube.
This was like that too. I mean, that
Well, that's true. I was already born then. No, I wasn't in the Sapiens. No, I was in Inverasasta.
2007, February 3rd, 2007, I think this was the first channel we made, even before La Ruta Verde.
Yes, I think so, but you use this one for yourself.
Yes, for me, it's the personal channel. Yes. I mean, this account is going to be 20 years old.
Crazy. Guillermo Escobar uses it and says, well, if one day you want to take a break, you both make an avatar and let the avatar do the live stream. Yes, we have that as a tool, but honestly, no.
Yeah, no, not really.
Hi, Ivan Alvarez. You're still late. It's obvious. I'm starting over. Greetings to future Ivana.
Hello there. That's 117 million views. Of course, we've actually been a channel for 10 years.
Since 2017,
Well, 9 years. Next year, we'll have had the channel for 10 years.
news.
Yes.
About news. It says greetings, and I've followed both since 2019. It says Isa. Yes, greetings, our grandmother says. You are 19 years old. Yes, the channel is 19 years old, yes. Greetings to Lorena, who says, I'm Lore from Argentina, Cordoba, the capital. I've been following since the pandemic. Greetings. And this Sarate says, yes, I met Pepe when Johanna interviewed you, okay? And I remember you said you didn't believe in UFOs. No, I don't think I said that.
No. What I was saying, and what I still stand by, is that too much importance is given to the spheres, to the lights and stuff. I mean, too much importance is given to that, and I lean more towards the stories, the accounts, and the testimonies of people, because it's very easy for there to be confusion with any little thing. At that time, there weren't as many videos available as there are now. My perspective has changed because of that. And to begin with, because I got to see things that are really surprising, but not as much as not seeing them, because yes, actually, Johanna and I collaborate often, him on my channel and me on his channel. In fact, he contacted us and we started talking because he wanted to get into the YouTube scene at the time, and because he came from television, right? And so he would ask us things about how the whole thing worked. And yeah, well, he was a cool guy, really cool. Johanna says it would be nice to see the first show from 2007. No, there wasn't a show. I mean, in 2007, it was just an account for watching videos. I mean, 2017 is when it really started. 2017 is when the videos really started getting uploaded formally, although there were a few years when we made videos like, I mean, we finished on the green route and then we'd come here just to chat. That was all it was. We'd come here to Pepe Migo's channel basically just to chat. Oh, the green route was over, and whoever wanted to, well, they'd come hang out with Pepe Migo. Well, his name wasn't actually Pepe Migo, it was Pepe Allende. I mean, come hang out with Pepe Allende and we chat here, but just for fun, basically just to talk, just like we're chatting right now. So back then we used to chat, and at some point, well, we started the news channel because we mixed things up. The green route was a whole mess, right? We had mysteries at night. During the day there was news. Remember there was news? And even back then we had the idea that it was a news project, and in fact we created one that was called Front Page.
And then Emergency Exit.
Emergency Exit. That was another one too.
It was funny because that one was edited.
Editing that one was tough due to all the production involved.
It ended up being about 5 minutes long.
And 5 minutes long. And besides, well, this one isn't, I mean, they didn't go very deep because the format was really fast. No, I didn't like that as much. I preferred this more conversational format. He always says to make a show about your first shows. I think many of them are probably even lost by now. I think that many of them don't even exist anymore, or well, they're not here. If they're not here, no, I don't know. I don't know if I have a hard drive with them somewhere.
Greetings to Angie. I've definitely been following since last year. That's all. I'm 71 years old, lucid, and working. I stay informed about international news with you all. Greetings, Angie.
Greetings, Angie. How have you been? Feeman says she misses the green root. I know, right? Me too. I missed that and the podcast as well. I also missed the podcast and I was this close to starting it up again, and it's actually pretty likely that I'll bring the podcast back one of these days. If the opportunity comes up, it would be more about stories and tales because sometimes we don't have enough time to go in depth here, but we do talk about them. So now there's a guide on YouTube. I mean, within YouTube, you have a guide option where you can ask it questions. Yeah. And the other day I asked it and said, look, I have this channel called Podcast, and well, sometimes I feel like reactivating it, but I also think, well, it's a lot. It's a lot of work with what we're doing right now. Yeah, and it gave me a really good answer, honestly. And it said, but on this channel you cover news and also talk about strange and mysterious things. I said, well, yeah, that's true. It told me, like, why would you do something else if you're already doing it here? And I thought, yeah, what I could do is have a section within the same news channel, like proven things, let's say, or strange testimonies, right? There are a lot of news stories that we come across here all the time, and sometimes we just don't have time to cover them, right? Like, hey, you know what? Let's do 5 stories or 5 accounts from people or from police officers, for example, or night watchmen. I keep a lot of them because I'm going to say it like handing them out. Of really interesting stories, right? And that, well, they fall into, let's say, the testimony-based news category, which, I mean, basically when I took on that perspective, the channel, and she also shows you the comments, right? She says, look at all these people commenting that they like it. I said, wow, this tool is really interesting. I'm not sure if it's available to all YouTubers yet or how it works. I think they'll eventually make it available to everyone, but it's cool because now you can ask questions. That's how I learned only 4,000 people actually write. I was surprised. Only 4,000? I mean, she says the question just came to my mind. Out of those who are subscribed and the people who visit us, how many people actually write, right? And based on your guesses, your calculations there, right? She said it first showed me the last, I think, 90 days. Basically, what she told me is that between 0.4 and 0.2% actually write. That's who writes. Writes in the channel. 99.7, 99.8% do not write in the channel. So I know that obviously comments are super important to me. I also put it in perspective. I said, well, then what do people think? I mean, what does the majority of people think? The 99.7%. I don't know their opinion. I have no idea what they think. I mean, I know they like it because it shows me that 98 point, I don't know, % of them give it a like. We know it's a very high percentage. I mean, yes, I imagine they like it, but I don't know their opinions. I don't know. I mean, I don't know them, basically. I mean, in that sense. That's crazy, really crazy. To think that there are a lot of people who don't eat. Well, it's just part of most people's behavior. This one says, it's because I like news that's real. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Mario Gonzalez. Big greetings. Hello? He says they're very enjoyable. They're not boring. I like your good sense of humor. You both make my time great and are awesome. He says thanks a lot. Thank you, Maria Gonzalez. Big greetings. What's up with the Nextel thing? What was it about Nextel? I remember. That's it.
No, I'll say you.
Eh? No, you're talking about Zello. Of course not. Nextel was an app that still exists. It's an app you can download. It's called Zello. Zello. It's an app that works like a walkie-talkie. I think they were going to remove it because, well, I don't know. I think there were some communities that were kind of misusing it and there weren't good restrictions and people were asking for restrictions. Let me check if this still exists, but it was good. The app was good because it let you talk like a walkie-talkie. Yeah, here it is. Look, Zello radio communication. I mean, it's this app. Look. Is it this app? Zello walkie-talkie, and it's like a button. And the ones who are there, there's a group of 7 people like that. So we all listen at the same time. So hey, whatever, over, like it's a walkie-talkie, you know? It's really, honestly, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's fun. Well, several times on the green route, when we're on the green route, we would go, the green route ends and we would go to Zello. Or whoever goes to Zello, and we talk and stuff like that. Sometimes I'd get up at 4 in the morning, I don't know, to go to the bathroom, and they were there, you know, arguing, sometimes even fighting. I was like, what's going on here? No, well, then later they would tell me, no, it's just that this person said something and they fought, something like that. There was drama, there wasn't drama, no, back then. And for most people, no. Most of the time it was cool, and there were debates that were really interesting. Yeah, there were some brutal all-nighters there. He says, I was talking with my wife's uncle and I was telling him about some things that have happened to me. And then he said to me, were you dreaming or hallucinating? He says, Jose, let's go to Jose Tocayo, Danilo. He says, greetings from Chile. First time here. Well, welcome, Danilo.
Hello, Danilo, and greetings to Samuel Rodriguez, he says. With the information I learned from you, I'm up to date with what's happening in the world among my friends, and I can discuss many topics, says Samuel. Greetings to Marcelo Patricio. And what if I was lucky enough to have seen 2 ships moving at supersonic speed in the 90s? And to have seen 2 beings, one spiritual, since it was a being of light, and another one that looked a lot like an orc, he says. Marcelo. Greetings, Marcelo.
Like Marcelo, greetings.
Greetings to Jesus Naro, he says. I catch up with them just as they're starting, but I play them from the beginning so I don't miss any information. Thank you very much for your effort.
Great, well, let's go.
Let's go, guys. Remember that we're on WhatsApp and Telegram. That's where we send you the live notifications. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you. The bat signal, I was about to go too. My voice is starting to go and I'm already hungry. Yes, well...
Fabricio says, yes, let's support the shorts. Thank you.
Hey, yes. We're trying to make shorts and short videos every day. Basically, we don't want to anymore. I mean, on this channel, there will only be live streams and shorts. I don't know if you noticed that. It's been like that for several days now.
And on Pepe Clips, the little clips, each story exactly?
Each story is split up on Pepe Clips in case you want to watch them individually. I just wanted to share that news. Can I do it like this? Remember that the episodes or chapters are already showing up, so to speak, for each story in every live stream. It takes a few minutes. It's not immediate, but it's already active too. That's great. Well, thank you very much. Take care. See you tomorrow.
We interrupt your regular programming. For tuning in, honestly.
This is Pepe Live.
The truth is intense. The unusual is real. Here we analyze it. Global perspective, don't miss out. Connect to the channel, Pepe Live. Controlling the signal, Pepe and Astrid telling it like it is. Raw journalism, respect matters here. Turn on alerts, don't lose track until next time. Yes, sir. Roll call, subscribe. Pepe live in the house.
Subscribe.